Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well on this Thursday afternoon, evening, depending, I guess, where you're at. Mostly evening at this point. Double stream for today. So I kind of mentioned this earlier during the Dead by Daylight stream that wanted to do a tier list. It's been a while since we just kind of like hung out and chatted, so figured let's do that tonight and just kind of chill. So more depending on who hops in, obviously more interactive than probably like a DVD stream or like any other gaming stream, I would say. But I kind of am leaning towards picking tier lists that I think, in the event I had to reflect on them and give my own answers, I think I feel confident. So there's some others that I think probably require a little bit more crowd participation, just because my input would be slightly more limited. But I think the few that I looked up should be good pretty much regardless. So let me grab some music. Let's see what we got. King Matthew, how's it going? I'm doing all right tonight. Hope you're doing well. I know you mentioned being a little bit under the weather, so hopefully you're feeling a little bit better. And if not, at the very least, maybe we can be a distraction for you. That's kind of the positive about stuff like YouTube, where you can maybe take your mind off stuff. All right, that should be okay volume, right? So yeah, we'll do some tier list stuff and just kind of chill, as I said. I don't know how long we'll go for, but as I said, just some more variety. I've been like hammering Dead by Daylight streams the last like week, so wanted not to just fully do that and wanted to make sure I still branched around a little bit. So let's grab the... I didn't do much prep work as far as pulling stuff up because I was a little bit late, obviously, so... Okay, glad to hear you're feeling better. Always good news there. So I think there's 3 tier lists that I have in mind. And we'll start off with probably one that's going to be less of interest for people, just because if people do hop in, I want to make sure that the more engaging tier lists are happening at those times. So the 3 I have in mind, I plan to potentially do at the end movie trilogies. I plan to do second game developers or game studios. And then maybe one quickly to start us off here is game controllers. I thought could be an interesting one. Let me change... I didn't change any of the tier brackets. Should we change this one? This one has S through D, so S, A, B, C, D. Kind of think you should have an F in there, right? I mean, maybe there's not an F for controllers. Yeah, I don't know if I would give any controllers an F. We'll see. All right, let me pull this up. Maybe we'll just stick with these 5 because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's only 20. So I mean, 5 tiers already is probably pretty lengthy. All right, let's switch over here and hopefully this pulls up. Oh, that didn't fully pull up. Can I make this a little bigger? That's probably good enough, right? Yeah, I think that's fine. For the game controllers, it does include every controller on every console. I mean, you see it now. I mean, my head's blocking some of it, but it seemed like it was most of them. But let's I don't know if there's an order. It feels like there's not really an order here, so we'll just start with what they have us up at the top here. So the Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch. And I guess to answer your question, I'm not seeing current gen. Like, I don't see the PS5 controller, for example. So probably just goes up through last gen would be my guess. The Joy-Cons... Hey, how's it going, Crunchy Almond? Yeah, it's been cool seeing the sub number is going to go up. So appreciate having you in chat. We're doing some tier list stuff today, so a little bit different than gaming, a little bit more engaging with the chat for folks that do hop in. But yeah, it's been nice to see kind of still upward momentum. Hopefully the same on your side. But Joy-Cons here. So Joy-Cons are a tricky one because they're kind of a fun controller. They're very fragile, I will say. I mean, they're part of the console in some ways. And I guess to caveat this, for this list, we're talking about controller only, not the console, not the games on the console, just the controllers. And I'll just throw it up here for now. Joy-Cons to you are probably C tier. They're hard to play with, but that's because I'm used to having an actual controller in your hand. Fair. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I think I'm in the same territory as you, King Matthew. I think I really want to like Joy-Cons. Like, Nintendo innovated a little bit. They gave us a handheld, but they also had a controller a little bit where you can play it on your TV, so it's a bit of both. The big thing with Joy-Cons is Joy-Con drift is a big thing. And I know controllers just in general get drift, but Nintendo, at least in America, had to put out like a program to where if you got Joy-Con drift, you could for free send in your Joy-Con because it was that big of an issue. And maybe if you want to say, well, that's the response, so that makes up for it. But I think they had to. I'm pretty sure they had like legal concerns with the quality of their controllers. With that in mind, I think Joy-Con's a D. Like, not the best controllers. I mean, I think all you need to know for the most part is Joy-Cons exist, but then we also have a Pro controller. So if the Joy-Cons were good enough, would you need a Pro controller? Probably not. These are out of order, so I'm kind of doing some guessing. This is the 360? Yeah. 360 controller. Okay. I will say, when it comes to controllers, Xbox does a pretty good job. You could argue the quality of their games on their consoles, stuff like that, the franchises they have. But I don't think you can argue with like their hardware and their physical controllers. The one downside, I guess I will point out, which maybe should factor in, is Xbox 360 controllers aren't rechargeable. You could buy those extra rechargeable things and like swap out for the battery pack. But on their own, they require batteries, which whenever I would go to a friend's house who had this, we were always like taking batteries out of the TV remote and all kinds of stuff. So that factor leads me to say, I don't know. But at the same time, it's a great controller. I think for now, my thoughts are the battery limitation keeps it from being an S tier, but I think it's an A tier controller. It's a solid controller, if I'm being honest. You could argue maybe B, but I think A is probably fair for this one. Okay. All right, so we got the big boy now, the OG Xbox controller, the Duke, the big controller. This thing was like very reminiscent of the N64 controller, just because like the mass or the Dreamcast controller, even, I guess. Like this thing, there's a reason they also made a secondary controller for this one. Where would I put the original Xbox like massive controller? I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people did prefer the smaller alternate version. Is that on here? I think this is it. It's hard for me to fully tell. I think this one is the other controller for Xbox, maybe. But the big Xbox controller, given so many great options on here, ooh, it's between B or C for me. I mean, as mentioned, I didn't mind it, but it was definitely not the most ergonomic controller of all time. 360 A tier. Yeah, I think we're on the same page with that one. That's fair. It's between these two for me. Maybe we say B. Maybe we say B for now. Well, ooh. Yeah, we'll stick with B for now. All right, Super Nintendo. Kind of a weird one because we're going back in time to where there was like way less buttons on the controller. These ones, honestly, this and the OG Nintendo, they can kind of hurt your hands at times if you like. Some of the games required a lot of precision, so you had to do a lot of like pressing down quickly and for long amounts of time. I mean, the SNES, I think, is an upgrade over the NES, probably. Just controller, not console, not games. I mean, it's still pretty solid. Maybe a B. I promise I don't want to have everything stuck up here. I want to like branch out a little bit. So maybe we'll put that there for now, but we'll give the right to change. All right, next up. Trying to make sure. Yeah. This is PS4. I'm kind of thinking, honestly, PS4, like, is S tier too much for that? Kind of think it's a great controller. It has the rechargeableness to it. I guess the battery life's not the strongest, so you could criticize it for that, but if it's, you know, plugged in, it's not a big deal. The controller design doesn't really hold up well. Yeah, you could argue it being C tier, which maybe it'll wind up working its way down there. Should I put it there? I don't know. Both these two kind of are in that gray area. Okay, we'll put that there for now. Sega Saturn. I need my boy Ro in chat because I very briefly was familiar with the Sega Saturn. Yeah, I think that works as our S tier, at least for now. Sega Saturn, not looking at the console at all. The controller, it's very curved, obviously. Maybe like a C tier. It's probably above the SNES controller, you'd think. Does that make more sense? Maybe even that. Something like that, I think. All right, then we have Genesis, which I didn't own either, but I actually played it a decent amount. These had the buttons, like the couple buttons here had those kind of like imprints in them where you could like, they weren't just flat buttons. They were kind of like the SNES ones, but a little bit more comfortable. I think we put you right next to the Saturn, probably. Just because of lack of a large amount of familiarity. All right, the Wii U. So I never owned a Wii U. I can't speak to it too much. This is obviously a kind of a similar thing as a Switch, where it's like, it's kind of a handheld, but also it's a controller technically. I can't tell if the Wii U just like why it didn't succeed, because honestly, like when it comes to Nintendo, I feel like the Wii was really successful and the Switch was successful, but between there, the Wii U was really wasn't successful at all. It felt like probably D tier. Did you have a Wii U? I didn't have one, but I probably agree that it's not great. I think we'll do that. Okay, next up we have, is this? I want to make sure I have the right controllers here. Are there duplicates of controllers? I'm like looking now and I'm like, wait a minute. Did the PS1 have like multiple, like, are these? I'm so confused. You two look the same. I'm gonna put all the Sony stuff together. This one I believe is PS3. And then this is 2. Is that in sequential order? I'm kind of guessing a little bit, but I think that's right. It's my best. Wait, this is also PS4, right? This is just without. Did the PS4 always have the touchpad? I thought maybe they added that to like later controllers, or did it always? And now I need to look this up. Did PS4 always have touchpad? Yes. Okay. Let me look up PS3 controller then. Okay, that is PS3, the one I was thinking of. Are there just 2 PS2 controllers? Or no, there's one that does have analog sticks. So there's a PS1 controller that has analog sticks, it seems like. Maybe. Okay. All right, so this is OG PS1. It feels probably serviceable, I would guess. You own it for a couple months, end up giving it to a pawn shop. Fair. I mean, I think the Wii U games that are like most popular are actually like popular as Switch games, like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart. Analog sticks. I mean, maybe put you here. And then this is PS2. PS3. Switch Pro controller. The battery on this is pretty great, I will say. I think they also get some stick drift, but kind of thinking Pro controller. Well, my experience, actually, the one I have isn't the highest quality, but I think in general it's viewed as being really great. GameCube is kind of a weird one. People love playing Smash with this controller, but outside of that, I don't know if, like, it looks so weird. But people still dig it. Maybe like there? You can argue GameCube. I feel like a lot of people love the GameCube controller, but it's just so weird with the button layout and everything going on here. Like, this isn't an analog stick. This is like the C button. We have the NES controller. I'm probably going to move these around eventually, but we have the NES controller here. Classic look. Not super comfortable to play with. Obviously, super limited buttons too. Something like that. N64 controller. While I like the console, the controller is kind of bad. Like, I don't mean to keep dogging on Nintendo stuff because I realize they're now all right here, but it's not a great controller independently on its own. Dreamcast also, I feel like people similar to the Xbox One really like it, but it's just probably not one that I super dug. It feels like super awkward shaped. PS3 is probably C tier. That was this dude right here, you think? Maybe. I didn't have a PS3, so I'm kind of just basing it off of my brief experience. So I didn't really like the Dreamcast controller, but I know it's a beloved one by a lot of people. Then we have the Wii controller. I mean, this was fun. It was kind of a gimmick with part of the console. I feel like it didn't work well all the time. Also, the strap was kind of dangerous for people. I like the idea of like motion active, but I kind of think that's also maybe a D tier. Is this just the OG Xbox controller that wasn't massive? If so, I think it goes up there. And then we have the Xbox One. I mean, this one's pretty perfect also. Like, I feel like we kind of perfected controllers at this point. Honestly, it's probably one of the better controllers. It's probably something like that as our top 3. I think that makes sense. From there, we have 360, Xbox, PS2. Maybe the GameCube up there. Maybe slide some of these down a bit. You're saying you thought this was a C tier? I don't hate that idea, honestly. The Segas, I don't really know enough. You think like the Kinect or something, or VR like PlayStation VR? I mean, I don't think those. I think those are more accessories beyond controller. And realistically, a lot of people don't really have them. Like, I don't think VR is good enough to warrant really buying a lot of that stuff, even to this day. I think directionally this is right. Like, these 3, I think, are the best, if we're not including current gen. This is kind of that next up. Maybe this after that. Yeah. I like the idea of this layout for sure. Maybe even that. Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, I moved these around, but they're still in D tier. I think that's pretty solid. All right, cool. Let's do some video game devs. What do we have? We have S through D for this one. So this one was a little bit tough. I looked up, I found like 4 different tier lists, which had varying studios listed. And I just picked the one that seemed like the most well-rounded. So there's going to be developers missing from this list, obviously. We can verbally talk about them if we want to, but I went with this list because it seemed like it was the most comprehensive. And for this, we will probably... How many do we have here again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 25. Maybe we keep it with these 5 tiers. Probably just don't have F in this one either, because it's not a whole lot of options. So for this, I will look up their portfolio a little bit to make sure we cover everything. Oh, somebody's already done this kind of... I mean, these are all basketball games, though. 2K makes more than just basketball. Is this kind of showing that? Did 2K make... Maybe they were the... I'm thinking more developer and less publisher, because 2K does a lot of publishing, it feels like. Like who developed BioShock? 2K was the developer, it seems. Maybe it just was 2K. Okay. We got pictures here. Nothing. I just want to see like a list. We'll just do this. Games published. I want to look at games developed. Is there games developed? I mean, I guess this counts if they're just a publishing. Do they do? They may not do much developing. Maybe it's just publishing. Okay. We have, let's see. Here's our list, actually. Yeah, maybe they just do publishing. Okay. Major League Baseball 2K5. They've had some pretty good sports games in the past. It's probably mostly basketball these days. What else do we have here? There's an NHL 2K game. I don't think I really knew that. Okay. What do we have in here, though? Prey, okay. Darkness. I do like the Darkness. That's a good one. BioShock is going to carry a lot of weight here. I'm trying to think the entire portfolio though, because like if I just like BioShock and I hate everything else, then I think that's not a good representation. If they make a lot of duds, they did The Quarry, I think. Right, I think they worked with Supermassive. BioShock 2, Topspin, Borderlands. They work with Gearbox on that. Okay. XCOM. I never got huge into XCOM. BioShock Infinite. Evolve. Ooh, that was a kind of a dud. WWE. I know it's big for a lot of people. Anything else really? That's not about it. I feel like they are heavy on basketball. Mafia. Okay. Yeah, there's The Quarry. Marvel's Midnight Suns. That game was okay. I mean, they kind of just did XCOM for Marvel characters. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a fair. Yeah, some of their older stuff probably better. But what have you done for me lately? It seems pretty bare bones. Like Bad Game, same thing every year. I think Bad Game I heard. Topspin, man. They don't do a whole lot. Like 3 years ago, we're at Marvel's Midnight Suns. Tales from the Borderlands was fun. All right, where are we at with 2K? I think B is probably fair. I would debate going lower. We'll say B for now. All right, Activision Blizzard. They are kind of a nightmare from my understanding as far as an actual company. How much should we take that into account? So they've had like a lot of like bad PR. So do we consider that? Obviously they do a bunch of Call of Duties. The Blizzard side would be like the Diablos and stuff, right? Wait, Sekiro? Did they work with FromSoft for Sekiro? Games. I mean, we're gonna have two. What is King Games? Is that part of Activision Blizzard? Okay, apparently it is. Don't think I knew that. How many games do they have? Okay, bunch of Call of Duties, Tony Hawk. It does say Sekiro. Just for the Stadia though, what? So they published Sekiro for the Stadia. The problem is I do have the association with the company and some of their in-house practices and stuff. Oh, they had Guitar Hero? Yeah, I guess that checks out, I think. I mean, they're definitely heavy Call of Duty these days, that's for sure. Check out the Blizzard games. These are gonna be like the Warcrafts, all of the top-down games. Yeah. They actually don't have a large list of games. Overwatch, not really my thing, but it's there. Probably D tier. You know what? I don't hate that choice because of not necessarily the games, but I've heard not great things. But you could probably say that about a ton of these companies. So, but they are, I feel like, frequently in the headlines. Bandai Namco. I don't love Bandai these days as much either. They make generally pretty rough games for anime shows. Let's see what we got here. Ace Combat, not a franchise I really got into. They also do technically, I think, have like Little Nightmares. Ton of stuff. Some Dragon Ball, obviously. All the anime stuff for sure. Dang, they have a lot of stuff. Pac-Man, yeah. I think they also do some of the supermassive things at times as well. I'm kind of leaning towards like a C tier. Oh yeah, Dark Souls. Ooh. I think they strike out on so many other games though. Divinity 2, okay. Remember Jump Force? That game didn't last very long. Soul Calibur. Yeah, there's Little Nightmares. Elden Ring, that one's tough to... Oh. I mean, they have some like heaters, but I think the rest, like, I'm bypassing a ton that are just meh. So how do you balance that out? I think maybe a C. Because I mean, I'll get I'm looking at Elden Ring from Software's here later on, so. And also, I mean, how much did Bandai do for Elden Ring? I'm gonna say they funded stuff and they promoted it. Yeah, I think that's fair. Bethesda's a weird one. If you ask me, Bethesda, like 10-15 years ago, I think I would have said pretty high. But now, I don't know. So these are the people that do like Skyrim and Fallout. I think I'm leaning towards maybe a B. Games published. Indiana Jones, Starfield, actually that was kind of a dud, right? Like people were let down. Redfall, also not good. Eey. Have they put out a good game? Evil Within, okay. Indiana Jones I've heard good things about, but I mean, Dishonored's okay. Fallout, obviously. Elder Scrolls with Skyrim. They don't have the greatest track record either. Like, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. Everything else is potentially hit or miss. They kind of strike me as a classic C. Yeah, I agree. I think you could argue B for sure also. BioWare. I don't know if I know all of the BioWare games. Let's see. Anthem, yikes. Dragon Age, hit or miss. KOTOR, I like. Okay. So this may be another example of what have you done for me lately. They do Baldur's Gate? Okay. They must work with Larian, I guess. Yeah, there's KOTOR. Looking forward to seeing what they do going forward. Mass Effect. Okay. Dragon Age. Some of those are great, some of them not as great. Andromeda, not great. Veilguard, not great either. Anthem, total flop. This is another example of like, you had Mass Effect early on, you had KOTOR early on, but what have you done other than that? I kind of think like right there, honestly. Yeah, I don't think they have much beyond like those couple franchises. Bulletproof, I haven't played. I know what it is. We have actually that was on Guess the Game the other day. There was that, then there was Blood in the Sand. Maybe that was the one we had. All right, Bungie. Bungie's got to be an interesting one. I'm noticing a trend with all of these game studios, and a lot of them have great memories, but not necessarily much currently. So Bungie's obviously going to have the first few Halos. I guess we'll still give that to them, although they don't own it anymore. Marathon. I feel like these days Bungie is Destiny at this point. First three Halos, Can't deny those. I mean, they did the best Halo. Couple Destinies. And that's about it. That's about it. We'll say the Halos do still count towards them because it's their track record, but they don't technically have the rights, I don't feel like, anymore. I mean, B tier. Yeah, I'm kind of between. I was gonna say B, but then I'm like, Bethesda, we said they had Fallout and Skyrim, and that wasn't enough. So is Halo enough to get you in the B tier? I guess a good way to solve this is if I hear, hey, Bungie's come out with a new game, how excited do I get? That's kind of maybe the best way to analyze this. Oh, maybe for now we'll keep it there. Since we are kind of bottom, we don't have anything better than a B right now. Capcom, do we get out of the B territory now? Capcom had a stellar Game Awards this year. Obviously the Resident Evils, Devil May Cry's okay. Marvel v Capcom. They have Mega Man also, right? Dead Rising, Monster Hunter. Not a huge one for me, but Onimusha, Ace Attorney, Dead Rising too, huh? Let's see. Let's just look at this. Ghosts and Goblins. I think this is an example of a franchise or a studio that has like a rich history, but also is still doing well in today's time. I think Capcom is probably an A. That seem fair? I don't think S. You can maybe argue S, but I think they're at the very least A. S tier, you think? Yeah. We'll see if they... I don't want to have like a ton in S tier, so we'll see by the end. Maybe we'll reevaluate. CD Projekt Red. This one's kind of tough. So I love The Witcher. And they totally flopped with the original release of Cyberpunk. Granted, they've made up for it potentially. So do you say that, hey, bygones be bygones? Where is your list of games? There can't be that long of a list anyway. Here we go. So we have the Witcher games, plentiful amounts of them, and then we have Cyberpunk. What is Road Trace? Is that just racing as Geralt's horse on the iOS? So they have a very small catalog. The Witcher 3 is one of the best games in my opinion. Yo, what's up, Lone Wolf? How you doing? We're doing some tier list stuff right now. We did controllers first to kind of kick things off. We're doing game studios now. I think given that they did make Cyberpunk eventually good, I think they still have some good grace for me. Maybe that's too naive, but yeah, they're doing Witcher 4. They're doing Witcher 4 right here, and what I've seen so far of that has me excited. So given their limited scope, like they don't have the portfolio of like a 2K or a Bethesda or a Capcom, Bandai, Activision, but what they've done is great. I'm sorry to hear you've had a bad morning. It sounds like hopefully improving at least. I don't know how long you can hang out, but hopefully maybe take your mind off it a bit. Try to just chill. It's Dice. I don't know if I recognize the logo, but Dice. Am I not reading this right? What is this logo? I think that's what that is, right? Yeah. What do you got? Dice. Pinball. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, you got pinball. NASCAR. Okay. Do we have anything? Battlefield games? Okay, that makes sense. That's where I've heard them probably. Medal of Honor, so a lot of military games. Oh, a D tier. Mirror's Edge was interesting. It was a creative idea. Okay. Battlefront 2. People dug that, right? They really do a lot of Battlefield. Okay, so a lot of like larger combat games. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. That feels up your alley. Is that the only Need for Speed game they did? Yeah, I mean, they don't have the best catalog. Like, I guess asking myself the same question. If DICE was coming out with a new game, how excited am I going to get? I think that's probably fair. I think D is actually my thoughts. You could argue maybe over here on C. Need for Speed was goated. Yeah. I like those games for the most part. Hot Pursuit, that I think I did play this one. I guess EA is also attached to it, though, so... Speaking of EA, we have them up next. This is one that's going to be strange, because we have, like, all of the sports games, the Maddens and stuff, but there also is, like, the Apex. Let's go here. They have a ton of, like, Star Wars stuff in the past, also. I mean... You're not wrong. They are definitely not the same company. They still put out some good ones, but I mean, to your point, like Madden is strictly like a microtransaction game at this point. It's like, let's play Ultimate Team at this point. Where's our game list? They probably have an insane catalog because they have their own service, right? Like EA Games. Bioware's part of EA. I thought we said games. Where are the games? Okay. We have Battlefield, Burnout. Burnout was fun. Was fun, obviously. Dead Space. Okay. Dragon Age. Mass Effect, kind of here. NBA Street was, remember EA Sports or EA Big, whatever it was, EA Sports Big with like the street games? Those were solid. NFL Street. NHL I dig. College football obviously came back. Need for Speed, PGA Tour. Rock Band? I don't know if I knew that they did Rock Band. SimCity, SSX, Battlefront. Where's... Yeah, I was gonna say, where's Titanfall? There it is. EA, as much as I like dog on EA, they also technically is It Takes Two on here because it's like an EA original game that they published, which I would count that, even though they didn't develop it. Still hit the EA and did the Armored 2 franchise. I didn't really play that one. I kind of know what it was about, but I don't think D. I'm between a B or a C because they do just kind of spin out a bunch of garbage these days, but at the same time, there are still some good ones. Chris, I don't think I ever watched it. The one that had Aaron Paul in it. Maybe I saw like a few parts of it, but I definitely never watched all of it. I think that maybe, oh, you could argue definitely in C. But having EA as the studio publishing it doesn't immediately make me think, don't want to play it. All right, FromSoft. I think I feel confident about putting them in S, but at the same time, I'm not super pumped that their newest game is going to be on the Switch 2 only. But beyond that, FromSoft games are literally like my favorite kind of games. They kind of spawned a lot of clones, is the only thing I would say. I never really played the Armored Core games. So they have a lot of games I have not really touched. But keeping that in mind, I feel like some of their heavy hitters are heavy enough that it makes it worthwhile. Like on my top 10, I think I had Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. Oh, you're good, Lone Wolf. I get it. Trust me, I got life stuff going on that I feel the same way a lot of times. So I appreciate anyone hanging out as much as they can. But if you gotta definitely prioritize your own stuff. So I appreciate just hanging out whenever you got the chance. And I hope everything gets hopefully a little bit better as much as possible. Yeah, Elden Ring was great. Although friend of the channel, Dr. Souls is not an Elden Ring fan. He's probably streaming right now, but yeah, the Duskbloods, Switch 2. I don't have any indication it's going to come to other consoles either. I never played Night Rain. Maybe at some point I'll grab it. I heard like it was pretty fun, but not as great as their solo games. But if you've never played like Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3 was also great. I wasn't as high on Demon Souls, but I think we put them in S tier, despite their Duskbloods Nintendo exclusive situation. Okay, Game Freak. They are normally known for Pokemon. And they have a game that's not Pokemon coming out, right? Like, what's the one that they're working on now? Beast of Reincarnation, that must be it. I've heard bad things about some of these other Pokemon games, though. Like, I think people generally did not like them. This may be a studio that I'm going to put a little bit lower, but has the chance to redeem themselves if they deliver with this title. But without it being out yet, I don't think we can fully commit to that. They did so many Pokemon games. They must be so happy to be out of Pokemon. They did do the Game Boy ones, though. Red and blue and yellow. I forgot that there was a Pokemon Green for Game Boy. Game Freak, I think they go like right there for me. C tier. There we go. I think if you told me they were developing a game, I wouldn't say no, but I'm not necessarily super pumped either. All right, we have id Studios. What you got for me? Doom games. So Wolfenstein, I mean, these are all very thematically the same. Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, Rage. I feel like people were super pumped for Rage 2, and I was like, I don't really get it, and I don't think it performed super well. Controversy. Didn't they duke it out with the person who did the soundtrack for Doom? I thought they kind of had some issues. Oh yeah, soundtrack dispute. There it is. So, keeping that in mind, maybe bottom of B. Like, they're pretty good, but it feels weird having Bethesda in C. But in fairness, like, they have struck out a lot recently, like Fallout 76, Starfield. Yeah, I think bottom of B at least. All right, Insomniac Games. This is one I think I could say positive things about. So they're the ones that made like Spider-Man and are working on Wolverine. Did they do much beyond? Oh, Spyro. Okay, we got a good history here. Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, Resistance, Spider-Man. What about other games? Sunset Overdrive. Okay. I mean, oh, I did not mean to do that. I feel pretty confident putting Insomniac in A, I think. Exactly where in A you could argue. I am a little bit ready for them to do something else. Oh, here's our list. Like, I didn't play Spider-Man 2. I watched a little bit of it. Rift Apart was really good, though. Never wound up finishing it, but it was solid. And obviously, Marvel Spider-Man 2018, great. Ratchet & Clank, great. Resistance, I played a little bit of that. I didn't have a PS3, but that was like the PS3 game. That and like Killzone were the two that I think of when I think of PS3. I also love the Spyro games. I think who is it? Was it Bluebird that did the remakes of them? I don't know for sure, but great time. I think for sure A, this exact order in A you could probably debate. Maybe like that. Maybe they are at the front. Yeah, maybe that is where they go. Konami. So this is Konami. I mean, right now they don't have Kojima anymore, so how much do we factor into that? Metal Gear was never my thing, but I know a lot of people love it. Castlevania, Silent Hill. I think we consider them still Konami games, even though Kojima has since left and done his own thing. So their catalog still is their catalog. Contra, okay. They have so many games. Holy, they've been around for a long time. Yeah, Spyro. That was like one of the few. I didn't have a PS1 either, but that's one of the few PS1 games I was like, that and Crash Bandicoot were like the two that I really vibed with. I mean, I was like younger, so dragons were cool. Spyro is one of my favorite characters. I've debated doing like a video game characters top list, and Spyro would have some potential to be on that because it's a cool character. All right, let's look at some of the more modern ones and see what we think. Man, they have so many releases every year. DDR, okay. I don't know if they knew they made DDR. Mahjong Fight Club, that seems interesting. Quiz Magic Academy. Okay, there's actually not a lot that's sticking out to me. I mean, Silent Hill is a big one, right? That and my Metal Gear. They're not for me, but I can acknowledge that they're popular. Have they not done much in the last few years? Is this really their... Like, I haven't heard any of these. I haven't heard of any of these. I guess the Silent Hill remake would not have been them. Would it? I don't... Why would that not be on the list? I don't know. I didn't like 5 either. That's the only one I played. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bare bones. Is this actually their list? I'm not seeing Metal Gear even on this. Let's just see what we see here. It does feel like they live in the past a little bit here. Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh game? Konami. Maybe like right there. For what, Chris? For games or for just physical media? All right, Naughty Dog. They're pretty solid. I mean, I know The Last of Us and Neil Druckmann and all that stuff can be a bit controversial, but they have Jak and Daxter. They have Uncharted. They have Crash. I know they're working on this game, their space game. Like, Naughty Dog is top tier. Both. Yeah, I mean, everything's going up in price these days. Games developed. I think it'd be tough to argue against Naughty Dog. Like Crash, banger. Jak 2 was wild. Jak 2 was like Grand Theft Auto for kids. Uncharted, amazing franchise. Last of Us, I didn't love the second one as much, but still great franchise. They don't do a lot of releases, but when they do, they release The Last of Us over and over again. they definitely do that. Last of Us Remastered, Last of Us Part 1. They like to do the Skyrim treatment where they just repeat the same things over and over again. But I think Naughty Dog, honestly, I was going to say A. I think they were actually S tier. I don't think they miss often. Yeah, I don't think they miss often. Like, if you have not a whole lot of games, but of those, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 franchises that I have a good time with, I think that puts you in S tier. All right, Nintendo. I mean, we can look them up, but we kind of know Nintendo. They have all the Marios, all the Zeldas. What else? I'm assuming everything first party they pretty much made, like Pikmin, Metroid. Nintendo's a weird one though. Nintendo falls in the same category a bit of Activision Blizzard, where it's like, I like your stuff, but I don't know if I really love you. Like copyright, if we're talking YouTube, you can't play like any Nintendo games on stream. Otherwise, like when we streamed the Game Awards, maybe it was Illumination, I don't know, but I was definitely at least partially Nintendo. I got like claimed for like the 5 seconds of the Mario movie that showed up during that. So they're not very streamer friendly or like user friendly, I would argue even. And they've come out lately being like, we're going to charge however much we want to charge for games, whatever they're worth. If Mario Kart's $80, then it's $80. So, but I love their games. I think Nintendo may be top of B. I don't love the company, but I love a lot of what they produce. So that maybe just ends up right there. I think A and up is reserved for companies that I would be like, all right, you seem fine. But I do love Nintendo stuff, so. If GTA can get released 100 times. Yeah, I mean, that's another one. Let's just reproduce it over and over. Yeah, like I'm never getting a Switch 2, realistically. Like there's not an interest by me, but also like you're overpaying for stuff at that point. Is this Rare? I think this is Rare's logo. Rare Studio. They have like Banjo and Donkey Kong. Oh, they had GoldenEye? Okay. Perfect Dark. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I mean, the problem is a lot of these are pretty much old franchises. What have you done for me lately, Rare? Is the question. And do we have an answer? Killer Instinct. Star Fox Adventure. That was actually kind of a fun game. It's like the only Star Fox game where you're not in the plane the whole time. It's like an RPG Star Fox. Did they make that bad like Nuts and Bolts Banjo game? Was that them or was that someone else? Did Rare make Diddy Kong Racing also? Because their characters are in that. I think they did. They just haven't done anything in Rare's latest game, Battletoads, was released in 2020. Is that really still accurate? Oh, I didn't realize they spun off and did Time Splitters, some of the employees. I mean, they don't do a lot of current games, but if they did, would I be excited? Sea of Thieves, people mixed thoughts on that one, right? I think Rare... I think I would be excited for a Rare game if one came out. Maybe after Bungie. Maybe like there. Killer Instinct Maximilian Dude had. That's the enter the chat. Yeah, he loves fighting games, right? Probably D tier. Have you not played Banjo-Kazooie? I actually saw the other day that somebody like made a Banjo-Kazooie replica on PC. Thought about checking it out, but yeah, they have a ton of games. They're just not very modern with their selection. I think it's probably a fair spot, honestly. All right, Respawn. I know they do Titanfall and Apex. What do they do other than that? Oh, they did Jedi. Those games. Pretty decent FromSoft clones, these kind of games. Yeah, he loves all fighting games for sure. I love seeing their like lists of their like top 10 whatever of all time, and just the fighting that team does, like him and his 3 friends. What games do you have? Pretty short list. I'm surprised they included them on this list, but it was kind of just random. Titanfall, great games. Apex, great game. Fallen Order, great game. You got a pretty good track record. These are all pretty solid. Is it weird to put Respawn in A? I mean, based off this, if you told me Respawn was making a game, I think I'd be pretty excited. I think so. Only ever played the demo Banjo-Kazooie. They were fun games. I mean, they were pretty much neck and neck with like Mario 64 with like 3D platformers. That and the second one, Banjo-Tooie, were great. Rockstar, maybe I'll take a quick break, grab some water, and let me know what you guys think about Rockstar. I feel like I'm a little conflicted with them too, but we'll talk about it. We're back. Appreciate the patience. Let's get the music back on. Oh, Lone Wolf, you're still here, by the way. What have you been listening to music lately this year? There's been some like great releases. I've debated doing like a video on them, honestly. I've been like constantly playing the new Motionless in White song. I feel like 3 minutes into that song, it gets like amazing. Okay, let us see. Rockstar. So Rockstar is an interesting one. They have great games. Like, I think if there's a Rockstar game coming out, I can guarantee it's going to be good. I've heard mixed thoughts, and when I say mixed thoughts, like not great things about their crunch they do for their employees. So I don't love that, but do we not have a games list? Here we go. Obviously the Grand Theft Autos, the Red Deads, Midnight Club. What else? Max Payne. GTA and Red Dead are definitely their big ones. Manhunt, Bully, yeah. People love Bully. LA Noire. So this is a tough one for me to answer because I think I love the games. I don't love that they seem to crunch their employees, but that probably is pretty standard in the gaming industry. Jedi Survivor was a massive upgrade compared to the Fallen Order. Really? Did you think so? I think I only played Fallen Order. I thought it was pretty good. Rockstar back in the day was a banger company. Max Payne, Bully, GTA 4. You think C tier? Dang. I mean, they definitely have like leveraged 5 a lot. I heard this was awful. The Trilogy, like remakes. Everyone thinks GTA 6 is going to be game of the year, so there is that. But yeah, they used to make like games all the time. Like, look at this window of these dates. There's so much, but then when you look at the last like 10 years, it's like, hey, since Grand Theft Auto 5, we've made Red Dead 2, and that's pretty much it. So, and I played Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox 360. It's been on 3 different console generations. Kind of wild. Let's see. Got headphones on. Yeah, I love the new song. It's solid. That, and I mean, I posted about these, I think, on my channel, but like that, and I really enjoyed the new Era song. I think they always deliver. But some good stuff. Even some non-metalcore. Like, there's a band that has like pop punk music that's called like Trash Boat, I think, that I've been listening to their stuff. Kind of reminds me of a bit of like Hawthorne Heights. But Rockstar, whew. Here's what I'm thinking. If you tell me a Rockstar game's coming out, I think it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna put them in A. I think the quality of their games deserves S, but the whole like microtransactions online GTA and the crunch of the employee stuff that probably a bunch of companies do make it so I can't say S, but they are solid A for me. You think you know that one? Yeah, they've had there's been a lot of great music that's come out already this year. I don't know if I probably won't buy GTA 6 on release. We still don't even have a price point for the game. Maybe it'll get delayed again, you never know, but I think it's gonna be a great game. Like, everything we've seen so far makes it imply it's gonna be amazing, but I don't know if it's still worth grabbing at launch or not. But they're gonna leverage GTA for, I mean, 5, they did it for however many years. They're gonna do that for 6 also. All right, Sega. So when I think of Sega, I think of Sonic. And let's see what else. Okay, there's like, there's other ones too, because I feel like Sega used to do consoles, obviously, and since then they kind of moved on. Here we go. And just make games instead of consoles. You heard Above Below yet? I have not. Is that worth checking out? Yeah, if you want to share in Discord or something, I'll check it out. Okay, so Sega games, there's gonna be a long history of Sega. So many things, so many games. Jeez, we're only 90. I mean, they had their own console. Let's like get to more modern times, because after like the Dreamcast, what are we doing? Sonic Mania was fun. I think it's still probably one of the later 2D Sonic games. I'm not huge into the 3D Sonics, I will say. Some of them are okay, but not a whole lot. Crazy Taxi, yeah, that's a good one. Shenmue. Apparently they did some 2K games. What has Sega done? I think they also had a pretty good Game Awards if I remember, but maybe I'm not remembering correctly. Virtua Fighter. So much. This is even after they had their console. That's how they did Super Monkey Ball. Okay. Saw Yakuza there. 2013. We should start getting Alien Isolation. It's a good one. I didn't like love playing it, but I like the idea of it. Probably a B tier. That may be one up where we want to put in them. February 20th. Okay, yeah. If you got a song that's out already, happy to check it out. Total War, okay. Bayonetta. I feel like Sega is probably like inoffensive. Like, I'm not necessarily going to buy their games at launch. I've heard that Team Sonic Racing was actually pretty good. Or not this one. They made one that came out last year, right? A lot of Yakuza. Oh, Persona 5. Ooh, okay. They worked with Atlas, apparently. Another tier list I had had Atlas on it, but not this one. Yeah, Sonic Racing Crossroads. I've heard that's a fun game. Okay. I think B makes sense. I think that checks out. Kind of like right there. All right, Sony Interactive. So there's gonna be a ton on this. Let's see. I mean, there's just gonna be so much. Twisted Metal. What all is considered just a Sony game and not some other third party, I guess. Parappa the Rappa. That game was wild. That game was wild. What else we got? Nothing overly sticking out, but I'm kind of flying through this because they obviously make a ton of games. Let's try to get down to the last few years. Does God of War technically fall under Sony? Stuff like that. Let's get up somewhere here. Here we go. MLB The Show, solid. Is that technically, I was gonna say Santa Monica Studios, but I guess San Diego Studio. The Ghost games, I guess they work with Sucker Punch on those. Okay. Death Stranding, Until Dawn. Concord was a flop. Stellar Blade. Helldivers, Spider-Man, okay. Yeah, there's some good ones. Because, I mean, other studios kind of get the credit, but technically Sony's involved. Like, Guerrilla Games makes Horizon, but it's Sony property. Uncharted, same with Naughty Dog there. Returnal. Honestly, also Bloodborne's gonna be on here, right? Because they technically worked with FromSoft. Gran Turismo. I think Sony's an S tier. They've kind of rested on their laurels a little bit, but still. Your wife sends you memes of Parappa the Rappa. That's funny. I actually played it. One of my friends had like PS Premium, and we played it like last year. It's a wild game. Yeah, Bloodborne. You know what? Sony's customer service also kind of sucks. Them, and I mean all these companies do. Like them, Microsoft, Nintendo kind of have you locked. If you want to play console games, you have to use their stuff. But I think Sony's like right there, because technically Naughty Dog is Sony. I think that's where I'd put them. Yeah. That's tough to beat. I'm also noticing Microsoft is not on here, which maybe tells you all you need to know about their current catalog. All right, Square Enix. They, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, right? That kind of stuff. What will be shown here? Some of these I have not played. I've heard Octopath Traveler is pretty good. Dragon Quest, Visions of Mana. I mean, people love Final Fantasy. That alone probably carries a lot of weight. They made Power Wash? I don't know if I knew that. Surprisingly, a pretty fun simulator game. Probably the only one that's that great. Okay, we have Deus Ex over here. Life is Strange. Tomb Raider's franchise has been like all over the place. Oh, Nier Automata? Yeah. Great game. Let's look at their list. Do we have a list somewhere? Square's asking your opinion. I think that's... We'll see. Maybe they have some like misses. Let's see what the full catalog looks like if I can find it anywhere. Do we have a list of games anywhere? I thought I clicked on... It's on business. I don't really want to know about their like EBITDA numbers or anything. I just want to see the list of games. Games list. Here we go. Okay. Early on, some of these don't really have much thought. I do love Kingdom Hearts, I will say. Great franchise. They made Full Metal Alchemist games. Interesting. I've been watching Brotherhood. Children of Mana. I mean, they are Final Fantasy pretty much, so that alone definitely carries a large weight. Chrono Trigger, yep. Anything non-Final Fantasy, I guess we said Nier Automata, that is a great one. Because Kingdom Hearts is pretty much Final Fantasy plus Disney. There's not a lot that's sticking out to me, I will say. Kingdom Hearts 3 was not as exciting as I was hoping it to be. Foam Stars, I forgot about that game. I'm kind of thinking A potentially here. Like there, I know you said S. I feel like I'd be mostly excited for a Square Enix game. Another A. I think I'm in the same territory. I mean, they are heavily Final Fantasy. But Nier Automata, great game. I think A is fair. Ubisoft, talk about a company that's fallen off over time. I think this is the classic example. There's separate pages for the... Okay. We'll briefly look at these, I guess. Rayman, okay. See if we see any kind of like big franchises represented here. Assassin's Creed is what I think of, or they did Watch Dogs, right? Let's see what else. Nothing really really sticking out. The Sum of All Fears, like the movie. They made a GameCube game for that. I don't know if I knew that. D tier? Dang. I mean, in fairness, if you said Ubisoft is making a new game, I probably wouldn't be that excited, so I'm not too far off of that. Prince of Persia, okay. They actually... Did they make the latest one, the 2D one? That one was decent. Tom Clancy, a bunch of stuff there, it feels like. They made Resident Evil 4 for PC. Okay. They ported it over, I'm assuming. Far Cry. Call of Juarez. All Assassin's Creeds. Let's see if there's anything that's really big staple for them. I would say, to the point I made, if you said they were making a game today, I'd probably be pretty indifferent towards it. South Park, that was actually, those are some fun games. The Division, yeah, there's really not a lot. Family Feud, okay. Riders Republic, that wasn't the best. Star Wars Outlaws, that kind of flopped, right? X Defiant. Is this the Prince of Persia? Yeah, this is what I'm thinking of. That one was decent. Avatar game. Did they make Watch Dogs? Am I thinking of the right? I mean, that would have come out years ago. The Crew. Yeah, okay. You think D feels kind of low, right? I'm kind of thinking like right there. Like I'm not really that excited, but I'm not excited either. This id is like hiding here. Finally Valve. So Left 4 Dead, Portal. Do they make like current games? I feel like they just kind of rely on Steam at this point. What's the last like Valve game that came out? Half-Life. It's a good one. Counter-Strike. I mean, they deliver. Also, do I factor in Steam's like friendly customer service? I mentioned how bad PlayStation, Microsoft, Nintendo, all their service kind of is, but Steam, in my brief experience, is top tier. Deadlock. That's one a lot of people are playing this. I have not played it myself. I mean, Half-Life, I probably should download the Half-Life games. I haven't touched them in like a long time. Valve, for me, I kind of think they're like right there. Probably B tier. I think that's fair to say. I kind of like this list, I think. So S tier, we got FromSoft, Sony, and Naughty Dog. If they made a game, I'm probably interested. I think that order probably makes sense too. I mean, the Intergalactic game that Naughty Dog is making, I'm a little bit hit or miss on. Then we have Insomniac, Capcom, CD Projekt Red, Square Enix, Rockstar, Valve, Respawn. Okay. Nintendo, Sega, 2K, Bungie, Rare, EA, id, Bethesda, Konami, BioWare, Ubisoft, Game Freak, Bandai, DICE, and Activision Blizzard. I think that's kind of directionally correct. I would debate dropping Bandai, but I mean, they do technically have Elden Ring on their portfolio, even though FromSoft is the one who actually made the game. But I think that probably makes sense. We obviously don't have every dev on here, as I mentioned. Like, I would love to put something like Supergiant Games in S, but it's not here. So, of what we were given, not bad. I think this is probably okay. All right. Probably the last one we do today, movie trilogies. And I have not changed these, so I'm going to probably change these tiers. S, A, B, C, D, F. I think we do that. There's a lot more on this one. There's a little bit more, I guess. Ranking seems fine. Yeah, I think directionally, I feel like that was good. Hopefully, you guys at least somewhat agreed. Okay, so movie trilogies. There's a couple of these I've found. One of them was like very heavy superhero based, which I'm realizing this one has a little bit of that too, but not entirely. I'm also now realizing, actually, are there duplicates of all these? How many do we actually have here? Maybe I need to do the other one, because we have How far does this go? It's actually a pretty short list. I didn't realize this was like duplicates. This is the same list just twice. Let me check the other one to see which one's better. Because this list is half the size I thought it was. Let's grab you. And so it's either going to be this list or this list. Which this one, I feel like at this point now actually has more. Let's see which ones it doesn't have, I guess. I think we actually do this one. I think, let's slide those over. This was the one that I thought had a lot of superhero stuff, which it still does, but I think it's still represented well. Yeah, I think we do this one. Completely pivoting at this point. Okay, cool. Well, let's do renaming here too. I don't think we probably need never seen, I guess. Because even if I barely seen it, I think we can probably give it an assessment. Get rid of that. All right. Obviously, this is movie trilogies, so 1 through 3 of something. Which I'm already confused by because literally the second one on here is The Amazing Spider-Man, and we only have 2 of those. So what is happening in this list? There's also only 2 Monster Incs. Okay. We'll keep this list and we'll just say the franchise. That's, I think, the best we can do at this point because some of these only have 2 movies. Actually, a lot of these only have 2 movies. All right. A Quiet Place. Not a franchise I really care about, if I'm being honest. Like, I know a lot of people got into this one. I'll probably, for this list, listen to chat influence a little bit more in me moving stuff around. But to me, it's like a C. Maybe. But then I'm looking also at, like, Doctor Strange. There's only 2 of those, right? Or, as I said, Monsters, Inc. There's only 2 of those. I think they maybe had a TV show. So there's a few of these that feel a little bit off. See? Okay, cool. That's, I kind of wish I liked it a little bit more, but I'm like, eh. The Amazing Spider-Man. The first one was okay with Lizard. The second one with like Electro and stuff is not for me. I don't know if F is too disrespectful. It's probably at least D. Yeah. Yeah, I think you could argue F, but I'll say D, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think was there supposed to be another Tobey Spider-Man movie? I feel like those dreams vanished long ago. Yeah. We'll see if we slide it down, but I think these okay for now. Ant-Man, I've only watched the first one, which was fine. Like, Ant-Man's like there for me. I like Paul Rudd, but I don't really think he's interesting as Ant-Man. He canned the movie. Probably a good choice, honestly. Like, at this point, it's been so many years. I don't know if I would want... Tobey's probably my favorite Spider-Man, but I don't know if I want more of him at this point. Maybe some of these I'll like place, and you guys let me know if we should pivot. As I said, Ant-Man as a character in that C tier, I think. An F. Ooh, ooh, dang. We can meet in the middle. I'll slide it down to D. Dang, F. You really didn't like Ant-Man. Avatar, I've only seen the first one. I like the first one. To me, it's probably a B franchise. It's kind of where I would guess. I don't think I can really go higher, and I don't think I would overly go lower either. Avengers, I guess we're just doing the mainline entries. As I said, I'm going to fly through these, so feel free to still comment on Avatar if you like. Avengers, first one's good. Ultron was kind of weak. Infinity War, really good. Endgame, really good. The Civil War count, or is that a Captain America movie technically? Tough to say. Ant-Man was so bad they canceled the sequel. Was it Ant-Man that had the villain who kind of got canceled as like a character? Like the actor got a little bit canceled? Yeah, I haven't seen 2 or 3 for Avatar, but they're probably more or less fine. Avengers, I think A. You can argue S, but like Ultron is kind of weak. I think Avengers in A makes sense, right? Maybe. Back to the Future, I think this one's an S. 3 is probably the weakest. They probably are in sequential order, like 1, 2, 3. But fun movies. The Batman movies. So Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises is what we're doing here. To me, that's like here. It's better than Avengers, but it's not as good as Back to the Future. You think A tier for Avengers? Yeah. Black Panther. I've not seen these movies, so I will defer to you guys if you'd like. I think a lot of the later Marvel movies I didn't watch as much. That's a going, Cope. Hope you're doing well. Hope you slept well. As you can see, we decided to do the afternoon stream. We have tier listed controllers, like video game controllers, and game studios, and now we're on Trilogies, which probably is more one that you would enjoy. Are you planning on streaming today? I know you had talked about it earlier. Some Diablo 4. B tier. You hate Rises, really? And you think Dark Knight's overrated? Ooh, spicy takes. Okay. That's fair. I think some people, the take that I don't understand is a lot of people view Rises as better than the Dark Knight. I'm like, I don't know. And then there's like the speculations, like, do you only like this because it was Heath Ledger's like last time? I think he may have had another movie, but like one of the last times we saw him, which I don't, for me, that's not a factor. Like, he was great regardless of, you know, his personal stuff, but yeah, just woke up. A tier for Black Panther. Working towards it. Okay, good deal. S tier for Black Panther. As I said, I have not seen all the movies, so I'm fine with putting where you guys think. S and then an A, huh? Kind of didn't like Black Panther 2. First one was my... I'm assuming you liked 1 but didn't like 2. You know what? For this one, I will, as I said, I'll take chat's input a little bit more. So, top of A sounds like maybe. We had kind of an A, an S, and a I liked one but not the other. Okay. As I said, this trilogy list is very superhero heavy, so we already are well into that at this point. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I like Harvey Dent also in Dark Knight. I don't know if him alone would have carried the film, but I would say Joker's like the big reason it's well received. Oh, is that really the case? Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is the only movie from Marvel to win an Oscar, like at all? Huh. What award did it win? Like a special effects, maybe? I guess that kind of makes sense because I don't normally think of superhero movies as even really being nominated, but there's stuff like Lord of the Rings that cleaned up, so you would think maybe Infinity War or Endgame would have gotten some love. Or maybe even like Iron Man. But I guess maybe that was a little bit too early on the superhero side of things. Like at all. That's impressive. I can't deny that being impressive. Do you know what they won for? Like what the award was? Captain America. Captain America's cool for me, but he's not like the best. Costume design, that checks out. They got some pretty sick costumes. Captain America for me is like a solid B, but I can be swayed given that we have a lot of superhero stuff here. I don't know, as I said, if Civil War technically falls under Captain America stuff, then S tier. Okay. Civil War was probably one of the top 5 MCU movies. Like I remember the scene on like the airstrip at the airport, and then Spider-Man shows up. It was kind of like his introduction. It's pretty good. It's not incredible to me, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Cars. So I've actually never really watched the Cars movies. I believe Owen Wilson is Lightning McQueen. And plot-wise, I haven't really watched them too much. I mean, I don't know when this got made, so it's possible that... I mean, Avatar's on here, so you would think that it's kind of recent. I don't know. We already have franchises on here that only have 2 movies, so... Like Dune, for example. 3rd one's coming out later this year, so... I don't know why that's on the list. Finding Nemo, there's only 2 of those. So we're a little bit disjointed. We have Harry Potter. So are we talking about the first 3 or the entire franchise? I don't know. I don't know. It's better than the duplicate list at the very least. Dune? Yeah, I need to watch them at some point. Had 5 nominations. Supporting actress, makeup, hairstyling, original song, visual effects, but only 1 costume. I mean, that's impressive to win at all. Even get that many noms, for sure. Cars B tier, like 1, 2, 3 was kind of mid. I think my wife's aunt and uncle took their kid to the movie, to the 3rd one. They like didn't stay for the full movie. You think beer or B tier? I mean, beer, B tier. That sure, it's fine. Yeah, anytime you kind of like break ground like that, like with The Substance, for example, a horror movie of that like type being Best Picture nominated, pretty cool. Bit early for you. It's past 5 o'clock for probably most people. Creed. I've never watched these. I mentioned this the other day, so I don't have a strong take here. I think it's cool that Drago's kid came back for 2. But I think it's kind of sucky that they've kicked Stallone to the curb. I will say, considering he kind of started things, but I know he doesn't fully own the rights to stuff, from what I understand. Yeah, I think a lot of that's changing. I mean, there's different categories now, obviously, but I do feel like horror comedies, it's kind of what we talk about when we do Guess the Movie, where it's like the more recent ones, I feel like get more favorable scores. It's kind of like how, I mean, Saw 10 was great, but I think it's the only one in the entire Saw franchise that has a not rotten score. And I think part of that's because it's newer. Love them. How much did we love them? I think I would enjoy them. Like, I assume I'd like them the level of A. S tier? Really? It feels weird. I feel like A feels appropriate for Creed. I don't know if I would, without having seen them, I don't know for sure, but kind of feels like a franchise that A is where maybe it belongs. All right, Casino Royale. Also, I love how we have like multiple Star Warses coming up. So what would this be? Casino Royale, Skyfall, Spectre? I don't know the 007 Daniel Craig movies. For me, these are probably B, but I'm open to feedback on them. Pretty good. Not always my favorite. One of them I saw in theaters that I did really enjoy. I think we talked about it on stream the other day when I guessed James Bond on that one, but it was the one that opens up with Dia de los Muertos in like Mexico. Was pretty good. But it's like a decent franchise. A tier? Yeah, the problem is we can't put, if we have A tier's getting pretty full, right? Like, we can't put everything in A tier. I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep it in B for now. Because I don't want, in theory should be thicker around this territory. Granted, if you have a trilogy, it's probably because the franchise is well supported because it's loved, but Deadpool, I like the first one. The one with Cable, the second one was pretty good too with Josh Brolin. I didn't see Deadpool and Wolverine, which is probably a lot of people's favorite. I think I liked Deadpool when it first came out as a concept, like anti-hero, but then everybody became an anti-hero in movies. To me, this feels like maybe another B. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is funny. Yeah. Something like that. Despicable Me is the best out of the three, the first one. I think I like one more than two, but I've only seen those two. Despicable Me, this is not counting Minions, but these are fun movies. I just told you not to put too many things in A, but I'm like, I kind of debate A for this one, to be honest. Maybe B. Like, it's hard to go wrong. They're not like awful, but they're not S tier. I mean, they're funny. Like the little girl at the fair, like, it's so fluffy, I'm gonna die. B tier for Deadpool. Okay. Oh, you didn't like a Wolverine one? I think a lot of people probably dug it because, from my understanding, there's a lot of like cameos and stuff. Also, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. I think they're like buds in real life, so I feel like that chemistry is probably fun. To your point, though, maybe the story isn't like well developed. It's just kind of like, let's put the two characters together. C tier, Despicable Me, really? Well, maybe. Is it Illumination that does it? The art style, the people that do the Mario movie too. Hated Logan. Like, you hated Wolverine's character, or you hated Logan the movie also? Probably both. It sounded like maybe both. I like Hugh Jackman as an actor. Do you not? You may not like him either. Like, even movies that are like, this is just okay, I feel like I enjoy with him. Like Real Steel, I remember watching the movie Logan. I appreciated Logan for being a little bit more edgy for its time, like an R-rated superhero movie. I do feel like having multiverses and like Deadpool and Wolverine kind of like undid the importance of Logan. Not fond of him. Fair. I think I normally dig him, but he's in a lot of X-Men stuff, to your point. This is whatchamacallit, right? This is the book series. Why am I blanking? It's not the Maze Runner, is it? It's one of those other ones. Is this one that had Miles Teller in it? This is why I need you guys to help me. I think this is... What's the name of this one? I believe I've seen one of these movies. Divergent, yes, that's what it was. Yep. I'm gonna make an assumption that it's ironic that Hunger Games is here, because I was thinking the same thing for this. That the books are probably significantly better than the movies. Kind of feels like, I mean, I think you're a Twilight movie fan, but it kind of feels like this similar territory where it's like you took a really successful book series and you wanted to make it into movies, and how good was it in movies? I don't know. Never seen them. Maybe we leave it down here, honestly. Maybe we leave it down here. Doctor Strange. I've not seen any of them. There's only two, right? First one, then Multiverse of Madness. Didn't we talk about this the other day? Was it Cope that you said you didn't like the second one? I remember hearing the second one was a little bit more dark and like horror based, but I did not see them. So there's that. I don't know. So this is in theory this is supposed to be trilogies. I guess it does say franchises actually, so I stand corrected. It's not just trilogies. I think the original one was just trilogies. Yeah. The one I was supposed to do was trilogy. So I guess this one does clarify it's franchises. So it'd be both 1 and 2. It's a pretty mid franchise. I mean, is C mid then? That sounds kind of right where that's at. Madness seems like a Sam Raimi type of film. Like a little bit weird, a little bit strange, if you will. Yeah, there aren't a ton. I mean, literally on this other list that I was going to do, I was like, okay, there's a good number on them. Until I realized right here, it restarts. So there's actually only half of these. Am I blocking? No, I'm not. Okay. Which I'm now noticing aliens on this one, and I don't see it here. That's a bummer. You can tell he directed it. At some point, maybe I'll watch it. It feels like something, since we do have Disney Plus now, I can check on streaming. All right. I guess the question now is, King Matthew, do you also think Dune is S tier? Because I'm assuming you probably think it is. Cope. Third one's coming out in December. Every movie franchise does this silly poster design where we have the heads. A? Ooh, okay. Oh, you haven't seen it? A and S. Maybe keep that there for now. All right, the Fast and the Furious. This is a tough one for me because I think I'll probably do a ranking of this franchise at some point. Yeah, I mean, I imagine I'm going to really enjoy them when I watch them. It's giving me like Star Wars, but maybe something I'd even like a little bit more. So Fast and Furious, first movie, great movie. Too Fast, Too Furious, we get a little silly. Tokyo Drift, pretty good too. I didn't love 4. 5 was good. 6 was pretty average. 7 was good. And then since then, they've kind of been meh. It's going in S rank. Is this like when we had Dom Toretto and then Blair Funks came in chat and he's like, you have Dom Corleone next to Dom Toretto. They were like both in A tier next to each other, and he was just dumbfounded by that idea. The problem is I much prefer, and I realize like things happen, but like I much prefer Paul Walker Fast and Furious movies over Vin Diesel. Like I liked his character a little bit more. I mean, Dom was cool in Fast and Furious, like the first one. But I remember like him and The Rock like duked it out with like who has cooler scenes in the movies. First three were great. You can argue if I think 2 is debatable if it's, I mean 2 is kind of like a good time. Like Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson just like messing around. I don't think 2 is that good. If I'm doing a ranking, I guess giving like a sneak peek of that, it'd be something along the lines of like 1, I don't know, 1 definitely, and then like 5 and 3 kind of neck and neck, maybe 7, and then from there on, I don't know. To build the building into, yeah, I get that vibe, which is why I haven't really watched it, because I'm like I have to fully commit to this movie. And now at this point, I have to commit to the movie twice, and then a third time too. Yeah, I mean it is kind of mindless. It's a good time for sure. I don't know, the last couple though have been, yeah. Family, yeah. We also went from stealing DVD players to flying in space. I think I did hear that, Chris. I'm not up to date on the latest for Fast and Furious, but I did think I remember hearing about that. Fair. That's fair. Yeah, I need to make it like an experience. I'd like to watch it though. I mean, do you want to put Fast and Furious in S tier? I can play that game. If it's the first one, I'm gonna say S tier. But like, if we go beyond 1, 3, 5, and 7, you start losing me a little bit. Yeah, with Michelle Rodriguez's character, they definitely like snip, snap, flip, flopped on that one. They did that too with Han, right? Like Han died, and then Han undied. So they love to do the fake out deaths. Probably at some point, Chris. I don't know about like seeing it in theaters, but at some point I'll check it out. Yeah, they do the fake out there that he blows up in the car or whatever. I think I remember. That dude also is he's definitely, I think Ocean's 11's also on here. Him and Brad Pitt should be friends, because both of them are just eating in every scene. They just have like a bag of chips constantly. All right, Finding Nemo. We only have 2 of these. First one's great. Second one was kind of I don't know where that averages out. Yeah, he was just constantly just had a bag of like chips just eating, or like peanuts, something. I love the first Finding Nemo. Finding Dory is fine. It's mostly inoffensive. But the first one's super quotable. B tier? Yeah. I think that makes sense. Godzilla. So I realize I've shared my love for Godzilla on this channel periodically. But this is the MonsterVerse, presumably from the picture. So that would be Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Godzilla X Kong, and then New Empire or whatever, Frozen Empire, whatever the name of it was. Just Keep Swimming, yeah. Or like Nemo Touched the Butt, or Nemo Swimming Out to Sea. Like there's so many good quotes in that movie. Yeah, fish are friends, not food. There you go. See, there's tons of them. We can do that. I don't mind that. I think it is Dory that I'm more so like the sequel with that one was like, it's fine. But Godzilla, the Monsterverse, honestly, you're welcome. I mean, these movies are just kind of like dumb fun. I wouldn't hate moving up to B. It's tough because I wouldn't probably put some of these in B. So I'm trying to balance like where it goes in comparison, but I much prefer the Toho Godzilla movies over the Warner Brothers ones. See? Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I think probably especially because the fact that I do like Godzilla and that I don't overly get excited for the Monsterverse ones tells you probably all you need to know. Guardians of the Galaxy. We were talking about this. Was that earlier today? Maybe. I've only seen the first two. I would say like B, but you guys may think higher. S, yeah, I kind of thought you guys would maybe would like it a little bit more. Yeah, I thought that was today. I was like, to your point, streaming twice. I'm like, the days are running together at this point. You think S tier? Matthew, Chris, what do you guys think? We're gonna have the most bizarre tier list. We're gonna have the Fast and Furious and Guardians of the Galaxy in S tier. And then like, I don't know, something down low that probably deserves a good spot. I don't mind doing it. Probably S tier. Dang, you guys love Guardians, huh? Is this your favorite Marvel movies, Guardians? I mean, you guys said you love Black Panther also, so maybe that was the answer. But is Guardians your guys' is like one of the three your favorites? I like the first one. S tier for you too. I didn't really like the second Guardians, to be honest. I kind of think like similar to Deadpool. I liked when it was a new concept, and then we tried to do it again, and I'm like, okay. Kind of reminded me also of like, is Star Trek going to be on this list? Surprisingly, don't think I see it. Maybe it is. I just can't see it, but reminds me of Star Trek, where the first one with Chris Pine, loved it, and then like Into Darkness, I was like, it's fine. It's more of the same. Yeah, the cast is pretty good. I mean, I just now noticed we have 2 Vin Diesel movies in S tier or franchises, because technically Groot is Vin Diesel. Was Vin Diesel cast well, or was Groot cast well? It's so funny they have him as that character. It's like you probably could put anybody there, but everybody knows that's who it is. So getting a Hobbs and Shaw 2 movie, really? The first one was okay. I guess that is technically probably part of the Fast and Furious. It was a bit obnoxious where we have like the big fight scene on like The Rock's home turf, where we're just fighting like people with guns with like sticks somehow. Kurt Russell was great. I didn't think he was that great. I like him as an actor, but I thought he was kind of predictable and underwhelming. I don't know. I'll take your guys' word for it. I'll put it in S, but Guardians 2, I don't think is stellar. Guardians 1, pretty good. 2, I didn't like as much. All right, Harry Potter. We're having too many things in S tier because I already feel like this is going to be suggested up here. The S tier is getting crowded. Why? Because he says family all the time, so he just says I'm Groot, and that's sufficient. I probably would put Harry Potter in like B, but I am a man of the people today. We chose to be interactive today for a reason, so Is that the qualifier? Is that why Fast and Furious is up here? Because there's so many of them. We're going for the quantity. I mean, Harry Potter's got good quality too. I think they're fun movies. B. Yeah. I also don't personally love like J.K. Rowling. I know the movies aren't really her, but that probably would impact my thoughts a little bit. But we can do S. S tier. The first few were so good. I am partial to the first few because I read 1 through 4 growing up. I didn't read any of the other ones. And I kind of watched the other ones. I feel like the biggest place I got most of the story for 5 through the end was from the Lego Harry Potter game, to be honest. Oh, you're good, Lone Wolf. Glad to have you back. We are doing, I thought it was going to be trilogies, but it's apparently franchises. So it's including all of them. So like all of the Harry Potter movies, for example, we're doing right now. I feel like it's going to be another situation where somebody comes into like, why is Fast and Furious so high? We have 2 car movies or franchises technically here, Back to the Future, Fast and Furious. We just really like vehicles, except for actually cars is down here, so maybe we don't. All right, How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know if I realized there was that many of these. I don't think the live actions count. We have Toothless, right? That's his name? Dune is S. Yeah, I think I had it there one point, then we moved it down. Or I think Cope, maybe you said one of them was A, one of them was S. I don't mind it being up there. As I said, I really like about half the movies. So we could put Dune up here. Avengers is S. Oh, see? Here's the problem is we can't have too many things in S, because if everything's great, then nothing's great. It's all relative. I have not seen Dune. Yeah, I will admit to that one. How to Train Your Dragon probably B tier. Like the first two, I haven't seen 3 yet. I didn't even know there were 3, so sure. Also, when we're talking Avengers, I mentioned earlier, like Ultron is kind of a dud movie, right? Like, do you like Age of Ultron? Obviously, Infinity War, the original, and Endgame probably lifted up enough that maybe it could be S tier. Yeah, I don't know. I think at the end we'll probably look at everything and reassess, which means I'll take creative liberties at that point. We think B for How to Train Your Dragon. Cap is the only S tier when it comes to the main Avengers. So would you not? You don't think Guardians? Cap we have down here in B. I feel like the first Captain America was pretty average. No? Like it was fine, like him being frozen and stuff. But I don't know. That was just okay. Hunger Games. Did we talk about this today too? I mentioned I really like the books. Great stories. Well written, well done. I only watched the first 2 movies and they were fine. Like I would say maybe B for these also. Gardens A for you just because 2 hurts it. Okay, so it sounds like you agree. I was not a fan of 2. I didn't see 3. 1 is really good. 2 was like, it was okay. It wasn't like the worst thing ever, but I don't feel like 2 did a lot. I guess they gave us some more backstory on Star-Lord, but combine them all B. Yeah, I think that's fair. As mentioned, I did really like the books. It's been a long time since I read them, but stories were fun. We actually saw the trailer to, is it Hey Mitch's story that's coming out at the theater this week, and it looked okay also. Yeah, we talked about that too. 3 being Rocket was his backstory, but I've yet to see that one. Okay, Indiana Jones. this is gonna be a challenging one because I've only seen the first 3, like the original ones, right? And they were good. It's been a long time. Like, I don't think I've seen them since I was a kid, so my recollection's a little limited. And they've had 2 since then that have been not great from my understanding, but I haven't watched them myself. F. Damn. Lower than Divergent. I think you're not a Harrison Ford fan, though, right? I like the idea of Indiana Jones. I mean, it's kind of like what Uncharted does a little bit. A bit of Tomb Raider also. B or C. Okay. Maybe we put you at like C then. Maybe... I was gonna say after Godzilla, but maybe like right there. S tier. This is like the perfect explanation of opinions vary at times. We have F, B or C, and an S. Yeah, I've heard of Shrinking. I've heard good things about that one. I'm not a huge Harrison Ford kind of seems like he's probably a bit of a dick, but if that's like the worst thing about you, probably worse things you could be accused of. I think he probably just more so comes across as like a grumpy old man now, which I probably am already at this point in life, so can't totally hate him for it. B is fine. I like how you like casually slipped in like, I'll accept if you raise it just 1. If you increase it, you know, I won't be offended if you just brought it up a little bit. I mean, you did say S, B, or C, then F. I mean, it's literally going to be either bottom of B or top of C. We'll maybe keep it there for now. All right, Iron Man. Not my favorite Avenger. Obviously, the first. Got things started, got the MCU going. I don't know where I'd put him. Probably just put him in like B, but we'll see what you guys think. I've debated doing these, and when we get to the end, everybody has like one veto that they can say, nope, put, for example, Iron Man in S, and like accepting that one submission from everyone. Just as kind of like a more stakes. So you think? Oh, you guys don't love Iron Man. Interesting. I don't mind putting C tier. We need more in this territory. The Bourne movies, these kind of are the same as like James Bond to me a little bit. Like they're fun action stuff, but do I overly care? Iron Man's B just because 2. 2 is the one with what's his name as the villain, who's got like the whips, right? Is that? I think that's 2, and like the racetrack and stuff. Oh, you only like him in those 2? In fairness, he's definitely good in those 2. Do you like Damon? Okay, fair. I do like Damon, but I don't really care for the Bourne stuff. It's not a subject that I overly get into. But in general, I like Matt Damon in movies. B minus. B tier. All right, we'll move him on up to B. John Wick. So I also said this the other day. I've only seen 3, and 3 was good. There was just like constant action. Like Keanu Reeves was like constantly going from scene to scene fighting somebody. And it was cool. I couldn't really tell you a whole lot about the backstory and the lore of the world. I know somebody like kills his dog or something and that sets him off. That's about all I know. Just like Ben Affleck one-side actors. Debatable, I would say. I probably like Damon more than Affleck. Like, technically, where did I have Good Will Hunting 4 in my top 10? I think I do enjoy that movie. John Wick S. You guys all like it. Probably S tier. All right. Honestly, all of you said S, so I feel like I have to put to the top of S, given that. Jurassic Park. Oh, see, we got this. I feel like everything's going in. I mean, Jurassic Park, I could probably. Well, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Jurassic Park, the first one, S. 2 is like A, and then 3 is like B. Ben Affleck has range. Yeah, he's good and stuff too. I don't love him as much as Damon. I probably like him maybe. I mean, he's also in Good Will Hunting. I liked him in The Town. Oh, you mean watch Good Will Hunting the first time? Nice. There's so much good in that. I mean, you have Robin Williams also. It's not your fault. Oh, good question. I'm going to say we view these as the Jurassic Park trilogy, which if Rusty was here, he'd be like, that's not what you said the other day. But I'm going to say this is 1 through 3, not Jurassic World. Unless you guys want to, I don't know. I'm up for debate, but I would interpret this maybe as 1 through 3. But if you wanted to include more, we could. Jurassic Park A tier. First one was good. 2 was weak. 3 was decent. Oh, you like 3 more than 2. Interesting. Yeah, Robin Williams. He was solid. I should probably do like a top Robin Williams short at some point too. There's a bunch I need to catch up on doing. A tier if that's the case. 3 lower to A. Yeah, I think if it was just like the first movie, it would be S, but I think A probably checks out. Kingsman, so I've never seen these movies. I think, Cope, you said S, you thought. They're kind of the same as The Bourne, where it's like not really my thing a whole lot, but I know they're fun for a lot of people. What were we thinking for Kingsman? It sounded like you thought S. Watch the Kingsman movies. I mean, the whole like spy stuff, I'm kind of like, it's okay. 1 and 2 array. Hated 3. It's probably another A. All right, you said S. You said A. We can go top of A then. What's up, President? How you doing? B. 1 is goated. All right, so maybe we're dropping it in A. Middle A, kind of. The one was a prequel. Okay. I assume if I ever watched them, I would still watch them in order, would be your recommendation, typically. Kung Fu Panda. So Jack Black as a panda? I think I've only seen 1. 1 was funny. It was good, but I kind of think like a B. Yeah, still watch in order. That's always like interesting saying like the Star Wars movies, for example. I think most people probably would still watch them in release order, but yeah. Kung Fu Panda. Kind of view this in the same realm as Despicable Me, maybe a little bit lower actually. Like if you told me C, I wouldn't be putting up much of a fight. I did like the first one, and that's the only one I watched. So they're probably fun, but I haven't decided to watch the rest of them. B. B? All right, let's do B. Let's do that. Lord of the Rings. So remember I said everyone gets 1 veto? In fairness, I probably don't actually need to here, but Is there any argument against putting that there? I am open to the discussion, but kind of feel like, despite like the 3 people that said S for John Wick, I kind of feel like Lord of the Rings is like, all right, okay, we can agree then. Yeah. All right, so the 3 of you also said S for Lord of the Rings, so I think that one's fine up top. Madagascar. I think once again, I've only seen the first one, and it was fine. Like, for me, it's probably like here, to be honest, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, I think there actually was, before I changed this around, there was another tier on top. We can actually do, let me add a row above. I don't normally do this, but I will for the sake of this list. Also, let's make you, I don't know, pink. Madagascar C. C? All right, you guys want to raise it? I don't mind doing that. Yeah, if I'm ever gonna do that with its own territory, I think this makes sense. Is this the Maze Runner? That's ironic. I was talking about that earlier. Did they even finish this franchise? Didn't one of them or was it Divergent? I thought we stopped making them because they presumably weren't making money. It's funny this one's here after I mentioned that over here. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I already told you where I would put it. I mean, I did say everyone gets a veto at the end, but I'm going to make a qualifier. The GOAT only is reserved for one movie. Nothing else can go up there. But I appreciate the effort. Maze Runner's D. Only wants the first one with decent B. One of them, was this the franchise they stopped making them? I thought one of these they bailed because it wasn't working. First one's good after it fell. Okay, so he said good but fell. B was the first one, but then should we keep it in D then? If you guys seem to think the first one was the best and that was at B, they made 3. Yeah, maybe we keep you there. Men in Black. So this is kind of the Jurassic Park situation where first one, really good movie. Second one, and then it just keeps kind of going down from there. B, A. I think I would agree with B because I think the first one is an A, and then the rest of them are C. I think I would probably agree with B. Mission Impossible. There's 5 billion of these. I've only for sure seen Mission Impossible 3, and I thought it was just okay. It was the first movie I saw at a new theater that opened up many years ago. I think you guys would probably love this. I'm assuming the consensus is going to be A or S, but this falls for me in the same category as James Bond, Bourne, where it's I haven't seen them because, well, actually, I've seen a lot of the Bonds and Bournes. I haven't seen a ton of Mission Impossibles, though. I also don't love Tom Cruise. He's kind of a unique character. Although I love Collateral that he's in. And some other movies, Top Gun's good, all that stuff, but B. Okay, lower than I thought you guys would say. 1 to 3 A. You have to see the newest one. Aren't there 8 or 9 of them at this point? You guys are saying B. I think that checks out though. Put you somewhere there in B. All right, Monsters Inc. and University. I don't know if there's a show too, but we're gonna consider it just the 2 movies. 10. Yeah, that sounds right. I think he would do those until he died. which may happen when he's making one of them at this point. I do like Monsters Inc. a lot. I think this and Finding Nemo kind of have the same situation where the first one, really good idea, was creative, and then we just made a second one and we're like, okay, doesn't have the same like magic as the first one. It's not bad, but it's not like I would probably argue that Monsters Inc. is S tier. Then I would say University is like B-. C tier? Dang. I'm honestly, I think he's going to. He's still doing his own stunts, so the fact that that's the case. Yeah, I did hear, I think that there was indication they may be done, but I think money talks typically. We'll just wait a few years and he'll bring it back. Come out of retirement. You said C for, really? I kind of feel like Monsters has got to be at least a B, no? Like above Kung Fu Panda. Not that relativity matters too much in this list because it's a hodgepodge of opinions at this point. Like, I kind of view it as I said, similar to Nemo, where it's like really good first one, second one was fine. Oh, Chris coming off the top rope with the Maze Runner effect. 4 is coming out in 2028. Are we going to be alive then still? I haven't seen the other Maze Runner, so I'm a little bit fine with that, honestly. As long as Simon Pegg comes back, I'm sure he would too. He was carrying them, really? The Mission Impossibles? Huh. I do like Simon Pegg. Put it in B if you want. Okay. I will do so. Honestly, it's the top of B. Yeah, I like Simon Pegg. I like Shaun of the Dead. I like him. I mean, he's even good like in Ready Player One. Hot Fuzz. I mentioned the other day that one of my guilty pleasure movies is Paul. He's in that. Also, your boy Seth Rogen in that. Yeah. All right, what's next? National Treasure. This is the same situation. Good first movie. We kind of just kept making them after that. There's 3 of them, right? I think I remember the one where he kidnaps the president. Is that 2? Was it Book of Secrets? Am I making up these titles? Boy Blue. National Treasure feels like a B situation. Nick Cage is cool. Kind of hilarious that Nick Cage is in Dead by Daylight as himself, not as an actor or anything. B or C. Yeah. I would debate C because we have just so many movie franchises here. 1 and 2A. There's a third one. Oh, there's only 2 of them? Okay. They're in talks of a third one. Maybe bottom of B will keep it, since you said A and you said B or C. Ocean's 11. I'm seeing a trend. I love Ocean's 11. To me, Ocean's 11 is like a top S tier movie. Honestly, I probably should have considered having that on my top 10. It's awesome movie. Ocean's 12, fine. 13, probably a little better than 12. That's the one with Al Pacino, I think. And I never watched 8, was it? The one with Sandra Bullock, I believe. But 11, really good. Amazing cast, too. You have so many characters in this one. Clooney, Pitt, Damon, Andy Garcia, right? Julia Roberts, Bernie Mac. There's some good people in that one. We've had a train in A, if any other B. Oh, so you want to move it up? Yeah, I guess we could. As I said, we'll test out today doing the everybody, as long as you're still around in chat, you get a veto, which is gonna throw a hodgepodge in this. Ocean's definitely A. Yeah. I mean, the other ones are okay. Like the one where the dude's doing like gymnastics over the lasers. Yeah, Bernie Mac was cool. Do you guys remember the Bernie Mac show? That was kind of funny. It's also in like Transformers. He was in that movie with Ashton Kutcher, who I was surprised to see is in a new show coming out, because I was like, didn't we cancel him? All right, so Spider-Man, and this is specifically the Tobey trilogy. I kind of still think S. I was gonna say A because 1 and 2 really good, and 3 is kind of not as great. But I feel like 3 has grown on people over time. Like, people hated 3 when it came out. I vividly remember that because we had Topher Grace as Venom, and we had the whole like problem where I'm pretty sure Raimi wanted to do a story on Sandman, and the studio was like, no, you need Venom. So he did both, and it seemed a little bit disjointed. Beauty, yeah. I don't think I'm going to wind up watching that. I think some of the subject matter in that one feels like not for me. But I remember that was there was a trailer for that, I think, at the movies the other day too. That works with the Step Brothers 2 sequel. Interesting. Toby S tier. Yeah, like him doing the dancing that they've definitely memed before. Oh, he wanted to do Vulture. Okay. I mean, we got Vulture eventually in Tom Holland stuff. Watched 10 minutes of the first episode of Beauty. I think some of the plot points from what I deciphered from the trailer, I'm like, it's not for me. But I did see that he was supposedly in that. All right, Star Wars. And let me actually grab another drink here real quick. You guys tell me what you think about Star Wars. It's down here, right? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe we'll leave this up and keep the music going. I'll just do what I've been doing with gaming and step away. All right, we're back. We are back. Spider-Man Trilogy S. Speaking of Godzilla, seen Monarch yet? I have not. I talked about that earlier. I think I don't have Apple TV, but if I did, that's one of the shows I would probably jump into. I saw that they had a trailer, I think, for season 2 come out the other day. But yeah, this is, to your point, I guess I didn't clarify that. This is the OG trilogy of Star Wars because we seemingly have the other ones represented elsewhere. You think A? Yeah, this is 4 through 6. S tier. 1, 2, 3 is C. 7 and 9 D. Okay, maybe we'll do all those now. Actually, we'll do them all now. So you thought S, and you said A, and then A. Should we put it at the top of A then? And you thought 1, 2, 3, and C. I would have to rewatch them all, but is it it definitely is a hot take. I kind of feel like The Phantom Menace is like my favorite. Maybe because that's the one that was like in theaters when I was younger. And I thought Darth Maul was cool. And I really liked Qui-Gon Jinn's character. I didn't really realize he was Liam Neeson until way later on, but Pod Racing was cool. Sebulba was cool. It's another one that people kind of dog on. It's funny. It's similar to the Spider-Man stuff. I feel like there was 4, 5, and 6, and then we had 1 through 3 came out, and then everyone was like, they suck. They're not as good as 4, 5, and 6. And then 7 through 9 came out, and then people like grew to like 1 through 3. Feels like the passage of time and something new to hate on leads to the previous thing being appreciated a little bit more. 1, 2, 3 is also a Revenge of the Sith. Is that the third one? The only thing I didn't love about the third one, I mean, there's probably a few things, but we like had 2 and we had 4. So like when you have the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, I'm like, well, none of you are dying because you're both in the 4th one. 1 is S tier, 2 is F, 3 C. I probably directionally agree with where you rank them. I would say I like them 1, 3, 2 in the same way. I don't know if I would put them as diverse as far as the rankings, but I would put them in the same order. I have the high ground. Yeah. Like I was like, I guess how this plays out, we're about to find out, but we know neither of them are going to die. But you said you thought C. Okay, Matthew said A. Does that make it a B? Seems like that makes it B. And then the newer ones. You said D, and okay, Matthew said Downhill. I feel like it's probably realistically like a C, but I don't totally disagree that D could be warranted. We do need to spread out a little bit, so you know what? I think that's fine. Pacific Rim. Another one that I really liked. I saw this one in theaters and loved the first movie. It's a bit of that like fantasy sci-fi. It's got Charlie Hunnam, right? And Ron Perlman. Idris Elba, I think, is also in it, right? The second one, I saw most of it, and I was like, doesn't have the same charm. F tier for the new trilogy. Dang. Force Awakens holds up to those. Yeah, I mean, people argued, remember when it came out, that they thought the Force Awakens just like repeated episode 4. I think C could be fair. I think 1 is like probably an A movie for me, but then the other one is probably pretty bad. What do you think? A for Pacific Rim? Bottom of B. All right, Pirates. So Curse of the Black Pearl, super good. Probably an S tier movie. The rest of them, I mean, the one with the Davy Jones was okay. I don't think I've even seen them all, to be honest. I think I've only seen like the first 3. Because there's like At World's End, Strange Tides. As a franchise, that's probably like a B for me. Like, I really like the first one, but then we kind of just keep doing it for longer. I could see it being A potentially. Are they making more of these now that I feel like Johnny Depp is not as much of an outcast given the result of like the litigation he was in? Yeah, have you not watched all of any of them, or you're saying just the whole franchise? I mean, it's a pretty good concept, but I feel like they kind of try to drag it out probably a little bit too long. A minus. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, so this is just the Apes movies. Isn't Kingdom the one that like came out recently? Like it's not the original trilogy. I'm assuming this is talking about the 4 of them then. So we have Rise, War, and Dawn. And then we have Kingdom. So this is the 4 Apes movies. You see up to 3 for Pirates. I don't actually, surprisingly, I need to probably watch it because I think the original Apes trilogy is an S tier trilogy. Like, if I'm ranking trilogies, this may be right behind Lord of the Rings for me. I never saw the 4th one. You're thinking A? We can do A. I would, as I said, I would probably have it right behind Lord of the Rings because that trilogy is so good, but I can't speak for Kingdom. I don't know about that one. Like Andy Serkis as Caesar was top tier. Never seen Kingdom. Yeah, the Caesar trilogy. I will do bottom of S. I think that's fair. All right, final row here. We got Rocky, Mr. Balboa. 4th is good. I'll have to see if it's on anything streaming because I should check it out. So I don't think there's actually, people I know dislike 5 a lot. I don't think there's a bad Rocky movie. To me, Rocky is probably A minus. Maybe even like that, but up for feedback. I will probably at some point do a ranking of them. Say B. Not A for Adrian. We can put him in B if that is the opinion. A minus, B plus. Yeah, okay. They're all decent. Surprisingly, really enjoy Rocky Balboa, the one where he's older. You don't like Balboa? Dang. I mean, I can give a little tease. Rocky Balboa, probably my 2nd favorite Rocky, and it's close to being the best. All right, Shrek. Another situation where the first one is an S tier movie and the rest of them are in the B for me. Like in Creed. See, I haven't seen the Creed movies, so I can't chime in on that one. I assume they're also good, though. More modern. Like some of the old fights with Rocky, you see him swinging, it's like clearly he's not punching anybody. Shrek feels like an A minus, maybe. First one S, the rest of them. I've only for sure seen the 2nd one. The 2nd one's probably like a B, and then after that, who knows? I know they're still working on one where they're like changing his look a whole lot. And he has like a rebellious teenage daughter or something. I don't know. I guess it could be B plus. One and 2 are goated. 3 and 4 is where it gets trash. So S minus. B after seeing them all. I think we'll keep it B plus then. I love the correction. Into the Spider-Verse. So we're kind of in limbo, right? Which was weird because I saw the first one in theaters and thought it was really good. Like the first one is probably an S tier movie. Miles Morales' story. I've surprisingly haven't seen the 2nd one despite thinking that. And the 3rd one has gotten delayed so many times. Right? Unless I'm wrong, it hasn't come out. And I think originally it was supposed to come out like shortly after the 2nd one. But they never, from my understanding, wound up finishing it yet. S tier. Is the 2nd one pretty good? I remember hearing it leaves you on a bit of a cliffhanger. But that doesn't mean it can't be good still because Some franchises do that. I mean, Lord of the Rings, I remember seeing somebody commented that I guess they weren't aware Lord of the Rings was like a trilogy of books. And they went to go see Fellowship, and at the end they like just was like, what the hell is this? Because the story wasn't over, not realizing it was like the first of 3. But okay, sounds good, Cope. Appreciate you hanging out, and have a good time with your stream. Hope you enjoy playing Diablo, probably, it sounded like. Either way, whatever it is, enjoy, and thanks for hanging out. S tier. We can do S tier for Spider-Verse. We can do that. Next to the other Spidey. All right, Terminator. Variety, nice. Variety is the spice of life, so I'm down for that. Terminator is a weird one. Terminator 1 and 2, way up here. After that, 3 is like B-. And then like Dark Fate is like a D- for me, maybe even an F. Where do you balance those out? Is the question. A B+ and A-. I surprisingly wasn't super high on the Terminator anime. You would think that that would be 2 things I would enjoy, but it was just okay. Some most fans will feel Scream 7 also. Yeah. 1 and 2 are S. Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. So maybe we just leave it at B+. It feels like disrespectful, but some of those are like, I assume people probably have seen Dark Fate, or if you haven't, you're not concerned about spoilers, but I'll just say, without giving details, maybe killing off who they killed off at the beginning of the movie and kind of retconning their existence, I feel like ripped on the legacy of the earlier ones, but some people would disagree there. But that was my favorite character in the franchise, and that's kind of sucked. You like that one? I don't think it performed super poorly, but I was not a fan of it. I kind of feel like we just did some of the same stuff again, just with different characters. Like we made a different John Connor. It was, yeah, I agree. I was not a fan of it. I'm glad I didn't go see it in theaters. I saw it on like streaming later. I was like, okay. Yeah. It sucked. I think my favorite character in the franchise is like John Connor from Terminator 2. Like the kid with the bangs. All right, The Hangover. We've had a long streak here of like really good first movies, and then the like Hangover 1 is probably S tier. 2 and 3 are like B-, so it's really not that bad. It's kind of weird we have a comedy. Is this the first time we've had a comedy on this list? C tier? Dang, you're not a fan? I do like the first one, but after that, we just, it feels like we're making them for the sake of making them. I will say, though, I am trying to like spread this out. I think at the very end, I'm going to try to make it more of a bell curve. It kind of is now because B's got the most. Oh, you haven't seen them? Really? I would say watch the first one. I don't think you even need to watch the other 2. I think if you just watch the first one, you would be good there. Okay, The Hobbit. This is a hot take. I don't dislike this franchise. I know a lot of people thought they were not nearly as well made as Lord of the Rings, which I agree there. But I still have fun with them. Like, I would put The Hobbit in like a B tier, but I think a lot of people would put it in like D and F based off how it gets received. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but it's not as good as Lord of the Rings. So, I don't know. B? Yeah. I think that's fine. Still has some good moments. It's not the best, but it's not the most atrocious thing of all time. All right, Incredibles. I've actually not really seen these. I've seen bits and pieces. when I did my top Pixar movies the other day, I was like, oh, I know people love Incredibles, and I haven't seen it enough to really give an opinion on it. So it probably would be in my top based off what everyone thinks of it. But I just couldn't really put it there without knowing. B tier for Hobbit. Yeah, it did seem like it was a little bit rushed, which is actually kind of funny. So there's a Lego Hobbit game. It only is the first 2 movies, which is absurd. Like the 3rd movie is not part of the Lego Hobbit game. It's just 1 and 2. Incredibles, I'm assuming it's like a B+, right? Like I think a lot of people think it's A or S even, but I think there's a little chance of it being bad. And then we have the Lego movie. Once again, first one was pretty good. Rest of them are okay. Like Lego movie as a franchise is probably like a B- to me. Inoffensive. Incredibles is A. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I haven't seen enough to really chime in, but I think based off the feedback that sounds like it would be right. But Lego movie, it's fine. The Matrix is another tough one. This is almost the same as Terminator. Matrix 1, S tier. Matrix Reloaded, B. Resurrection, or is it Revelations Resurrection? Third one is probably, I mean, 2 and 3 are both kind of in the same ballpark of being like very average sci-fi movies. The 4th one I did not like, I will say. Matrix, yeah. You think C tier for Incredibles? I will put it in the top of B to average that out. Dang. B+, C-. I will say B+. As I said, I think it probably fits in the same realm here. I will say the lowest of lows for Matrix aren't as low as Terminator, so S tier. All right, we'll go A. We'll do it. All right, Thor. So Thor is one of my favorite MCU characters. I know people really hate the Dark World, and I don't think people really even care for the first Thor. I do like the first Thor myself. Ragnarok was good. I didn't see Love and Thunder. It didn't seem like that would be good. Thor as a character is like an A for me. Thor's movies as a whole feel like a C. Kind of my thoughts. We should have done all the Spider-Mans together. I guess that we had the first one like way in advance with the Garfield ones. Matrix 2 and 3 are also filmed back to back. Yeah, that's also the classic example of the end of Matrix Reloaded is literally to be continued. You see the Agent Smith like doppelganger person on the ship, and then literally the text just shows up, to be continued. I was like, what do you mean to be continued? You can't just say that. You have to end this movie. You can have it be a franchise, but have it be a conclusive ending to this movie. It was very much like, this is the trilogy. Thor ranking best to worst. Ragnarok 1, 2, Love and Thunder. Without having seen Love and Thunder, I think that makes sense. I have a personal investment in 1, so I would consider putting 1 above Ragnarok, but I think Ragnarok's the better movie. So I think that ranking that you have is probably correct. C is accurate for Thor. Yeah, people love Ragnarok. Like, that's a top 5 MCU movie for a lot of people, but other than that, I think people kind of dog on Thor's movies. All right, so we have the Tom Holland movies. So we have Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. I think they're a solid A. Far From Home kind of was pretty mid. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal, but Mysterio and that whole stuff was like, I don't know about that. A, yeah, we're on the same page there. Toy Story. I haven't seen Toy Story 4. I am in the camp that 3 was a good ending, but I haven't seen 4. I think Toy Story is probably an S tier franchise. 1 and 2, and actually 1 through 3, all incredible. I haven't seen 4 though. They're making a 5th one. I don't know why we're still doing this, but yeah, Far From Home is definitely. I would probably rank them No Way Home, Homecoming, Far From Home. So 3, 1, 2. Yeah, S. Yeah, Toy Story. You can't go wrong with Toy Story. Good one-liners in that too. You have a bit of a horror element too with Sid like murdering toys, and his like toys that he has are all these like. I didn't realize some of the hidden messages there. Like I remember he has the one toy that's just like legs, like it's like female legs, and it's got like a hook on it. Like there's a lot of weird underlying messaging sometimes in Pixar movies or just animated movies in general. Thomas Barton, probably B tier. Really? Oh, you haven't seen No Way Home yet, though. That, in my opinion, is the best of the 3. So I think probably keep him an A. Toy Story being an A is perfect. Degree 3 should have been the ending. M&S. Yeah, I think 1 through 3. Honestly, all 3 of them are probably S tier movies. All right, we're getting to the end here. Transformers. There are way too many of these movies. I like the original Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox one. Also, Bernie Mac, shout out. But we made too many. This is like a B minus, I think. 5's gonna be weird because Woody left the toys in 4, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. They also had, wasn't there a TV show for Toy Story also? Kind of feels like they just want to keep that franchise alive, but they keep giving us endings. Transformers to C. I actually, you know what? I think that's actually fair. It may even be like their C. I do like the first one, but after that, we kind of just, we got a little bit lost in the sauce. Just turned into like Michael Bay, big robots on screen. 1 to 3 S tier if that gets trash. Yeah, Bumblebee was okay. I do agree there. All right, X-Men. So I guess all of the X-Men. There's so many of those also. To me, these are also like a C. I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. B. I could see that, honestly. There are some good ones. There are some kind of average ones. I don't know if technically Logan counts towards this or if it's specifically X-Men or even like Wolverine Origins wasn't something like that. X-Men Wolverine, where he has Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth and we have Deadpool. B to A minus. Oh, okay. Well, we can A. You said A and B to A minus. We'll do A minus. All right. First, let's I'm gonna take a glance, try to balance it out a little bit, and then I will permit one swap. I will say we're gonna keep Lord of the Rings as the GOAT. I'd say. You wouldn't count those? Fair. All right. So S tier. We have such a weird combination. John Wick, I think, is fair. Even though I've only seen one, it seemed high quality. Back to the Future. Fast and Furious probably doesn't belong here in my opinion, but we're going to keep it there because I think Cope suggested that one. Guardians, both you, Matthew, and Cope said top tier. Harry Potter, I think you both said that. Didn't we moved up from A? Tobey Maguire, Miles Morales, on the Apes trilogy, plus the 4th one, Toy Story. I mean, I wouldn't have all these in S, but I think given the input, I think that makes sense. OG Star Wars, Creed, Black Panther, the Nolan Batman trilogy, or the Bale, I guess specifically. Avengers. I know you said Avengers probably. I think that's okay to do. I mentioned Ultron kind of average, but I think that's fair to put in S. Jurassic Park. Yeah, I mean, one is great. The other one's pretty good. Kingsman, not one I've seen. Nemo feels a little high considering Dory was just okay. Maybe we put Ocean's 11 a little bit. Well, I did mention this is the entire franchise, actually. Take it back. I like the first one a ton. Rocky, Pirates, Matrix, Tom Holland, X-Men. Incredibles probably should be an A. Yeah. Let me Transformers up to at least B. Yeah, Infinity War is my favorite MCU movie. I'm in the same camp there. I know a lot of people think Endgame is the best, but I think I like Infinity War the most. All right, Terminator, Shrek, Monsters. I mean, we're hitting a lot of animated stuff here. These are all like decent. All right, I will now permit one change regardless of what it means. Like if you think Divergent is S tier, we put it up there. I know Matthew just moved this one up there. I won't count that one. We'll put that in B because it's pretty close. So I would say probably if there's something dogged on that you really like Matthew, if you're like Indiana Jones is sick, let's put it up there. We will do it. I think the rest of these are probably fine. I'm surprised Ant-Man we thought D. Like that feels probably low, but I mean, it's hard to put everything in the middle. We kind of do have to spread it out, so I get that part. All right, any one hits you guys want to do? I'm open to it. We also could break something down. If you like think Fast and Furious is the worst thing ever, we can take it out of S and put it in C or something. So it doesn't just have to be going up. Move Indy up to X. I kind of thought you may want that one. All right, that works. I think historically, Indy 1 through 3 is loved enough that A makes sense. So I don't hate that idea. All right, these are mostly pretty decent. I would probably, let's see, looking at this list, what are my favorite? Maybe my top 5? Ooh, that'll be tough. I guess if you guys want to share yours too, top 5 of the ones on this list. Easy Lord of the Rings. Fast and Furious, you gotta be. kind of figured that would be a opinion. I mentioned my favorites from that one are like 1, 3, 5, and 7. The rest of them are just okay. But if I'm making a top 5 from this, Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes. Oh, we're not doing just trilogies though. This is the entire thing. Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, Toy Story, Back to the Future. Dang, there's already 4 of them. Is there any that let's see, let's look at the bottom first. No, those are all just okay. Those are just okay. Those are just okay. Yeah, I would say Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, Toy Story, Planet of the Apes. The last one I'm mixed on. It's either going to be Toby's Spider-Man or Rocky. I think that's my 5. If I had to like break it out. Train Dragon should be A or S. We had that in B, didn't we? I will, you know what? You've been hanging out in chat. I will accept that. We'll move it up to A. I do think if I mean, I've only really know about the first one. So they've obviously made a live action also, which I don't think we're considering here. Top 5: Lord of the Rings, Transformers, Matrix, Fast and Furious, and Pirates. I mean, those are banger franchises. I think the problem is there's a lot of average to questionable movies in those for me. Like, I would say each of those has at least one movie that's great. Lord of the Rings, all 3. Transformers, I only really like the first one. 2 and 3, to your point, are pretty good. Matrix, it's the first one, way above the others for me. Fast and Furious, I already mentioned. 1 is the best for me. And then, like, there's probably a tie between, like, 3 and 5. And then 7 is also good. I think once we lose Paul Walker, I kind of get checked out. And then Pirates, Curse of the Black Pearl, I really like, but the other ones are just okay. Top 5 overall: Lord of the Rings, okay. Avengers, I think that checks out. Dune, Batman, and Spider-Man. Those are also great. I think those, I would agree, are probably pretty consistent. I mean, Lord of the Rings, we've discussed plenty. Avengers, I mentioned Ultron's really the only weak spot there. Dune I haven't seen, but I imagine great. Nolan, Batman, I really like The Dark Knight. Rises has its moments. Batman Begins is just okay for me also. But I know they're all well received. And yeah, Spider-Man, I agree with that one too. 3 is the only one that's like a little bit weaker, but they still hold up. Yeah, I think that works. So we did quite a few tier lists today. We had this. We had the game studios, which I would say this kind of makes sense that A and up is ones I really like. Once Vin added that stipulation. Yeah, where he starts, like, him and The Rock, like, went back and forth. Be like, I have to win all the fights. And then we did the controller. I don't think Lone Wolf, you were here for this one, but we did controllers at the beginning. And I said the S tiers, and this is not current gen, apparently. This only went through last gen. So we had the Xbox One, the Switch Pro controller, and the DualShock 4 for the PS4. So just the DualShock, I guess. Then A, we had the 360 controller, the OG smaller Xbox, the PS2, and the GameCube. Then we had, what is that, PS3? And I think that other one's a variation of the original PS1. The big Duke Xbox controller, Genesis and Saturn next to each other, OG PS1, SNES, and NES. We kind of dogged on Nintendo heavily here, but they have the Pro controller. And then the Dreamcast, which I think a lot of people do like that controller. The N64, the Wii, the Joy-Cons, and then the Wii U. Yeah, I think we did this one. I kind of figured I would start with this because it was maybe less interesting for people. So I was like, let me just do something, get the stream going. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about some of them, but I think these are probably the 3 best given the timeline here. So, all right, cool. Well, that was a good time. I'm glad. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out for so long. I really appreciate it. I kind of figured I've been doing Dead by Daylight streams in the morning a lot lately, and I was like, let me try to balance things out, like go back to the well, do some tier list stuff. I put up my Iron Lung review for anyone interested there. It's been a while since I posted a regular video, so that's one of the first in a while. And we'll be probably jumping back into shorts sometime soon. I had a DVD clip that I wanted to turn to a short, but agree with the rankings for the controllers. Nice. It kind of, I mean, some of it was kind of obvious where it's like more modern is going to be higher quality. Although the Joy-Cons we had at the bottom because those things had stick drift and broke super easily. Still haven't seen Iron Lung. Fair. I would say it depends how much you like Markiplier. but I, without jumping into details on the review, would recommend it if you're a fan of his. But I know some people thought there was long stretches of less excitement, so keep that in mind, that if you're easily bored from stuff, there is potential there. I have not. I know The Pit's like a really well-received show. Maybe at some point I'll watch it, but based on just like other stuff in life, I'm not like super wanting to watch like a medical related show. I kind of feel like I prefer like the escapism sometimes of shows and movies. So, but I've heard it's amazing. Like the first Pit season got like high praise, and I'm assuming the second one is just as good. So maybe at some point I will check it out. I know it's supposed to be like an emergency room, and like every episode is every episode like a separate hour of the same shift or something like that? It sounded like a pretty cool mechanic. But actually, speaking of, not to go off topic, but speaking of like Jurassic Park, I posted earlier today, there's apparently some like dinosaur documentary going to be on Netflix. I'm like, I'll probably check that out when it comes out. It seemed like it was like Planet Earth for dinosaurs. So, but other stuff coming up, I guess, show wise. I'm interested in One Piece live action season 2. That's probably my most anticipated show for this year. Been watching 911. Yeah, that's another one. I think any of those like real world issues, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch stuff that's that real. That is the format. Yeah, maybe at some point it'll maybe depend on a few things, but I've heard it's incredible, whether I watch it or not. Every episode is the hour shift. Yeah, that's a cool concept. Like, I like when shows or movies take a situation like that and make it applicable towards like how the show's presented. So I'm imagining it's gonna be solid. I need to catch up on some other stuff too. Like, I was watching Primal, and I need to catch up on that. I need to finish My Hero. Kind of a few things I need to catch up on, but we'll probably call it there for today. As I said, appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm glad we kind of went back to doing other stuff beyond just the gaming stuff, but I'll probably keep doing DBD, at least for a little bit, and throw some of these in every once in a while as well. I'll have to check out too, Lone Wolf, the video or the music video you mentioned, or not video, I guess it's just the song, because the album may not be out yet. I'll have to check that out on Discord too. At some point, maybe I'll do a short or video on music stuff lately, but we'll have to think about it. All right, so yeah, I guess upcoming stuff on the channel, we'll keep doing live streams and probably more shorts as they come. So finished Fall last night, amazing finale. That's another. So the two streaming services I don't really have are Apple and Prime, which is unfortunate because I feel like they have like the best shows. So maybe at some point I'll at least do like a trial for something. I heard Fallout was good. I think people really liked season 1, and it sounds like season 2 is potentially even better. Yeah, I'll check it out for sure. But maybe we'll watch Fallout at some point. I enjoy the game franchise. I'm not like the biggest fan, as you can tell by us putting Bethesda not as high as probably they deserved, but yeah, of course. But I've heard good things about that one too. So it seems like they were true to the games, which is hard to do with video games sometimes, with like adapting over to live action screens of stuff. So, but glad you're enjoying it, or glad you did enjoy it at least. I imagine they'll probably continue that show for more seasons. Seems like it was probably successful. I feel like Amazon can be hit or miss with shows, so whenever they get a hit, I feel like they would be smart to continue it. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you guys for hanging out, as I said, and I will catch you again soon, whether it's doing another tier list, gaming, whatever. Everyone's always welcome, obviously, so look forward to catching up again not too soon from now. So other than that, I will turn the music off and say goodbye. Guys, take care.